Hello friends, my name is Jose Luis. This time I am going to show you how to make a modern corner shelf, genuinely nice and easy to do. I am going to leave you the measurements at the end of the video. I hope you like it, and let's get to work. We grab the two boards 1.5 meters long by 23 centimeters wide. We mark it in the center, and then in the middle of the center, on both sides. With the square we mark it with the pen very softly. We mark it at 6 centimeters. There at 4 millimeters, 12 centimeters, 6 centimeters. And then what are we going to do? The mark at 6 centimeters and place the little nail 4 millimeters from the edge. Anyway, don't worry, I'll leave you the measurements of the board at the end of the video. We look for a flexible rod and we mark it that way. We have to get close to the edge. What I mark in a zigzag we are going to cut and take out, but first we are going to take out the little nails, and we have to cut that first. And we cut it with a saw, or it can also be cut with a jigsaw, always leaving the line of the pen to be able to remove with the sanding roller. There we remove it with the sanding roller, gently, without tightening it, so that it is not sanded too much, because if it is adjusted it usually wants to make holes, because pine wood has softer parts and others that are harder, so that's why you don't have to adjust when sanding. Once we have it sanded, we are going to mark the other board for the one that we had already cut and sanded. There we left him even on the back side, and we marked him. So we have the same curve that way. This would be the part of the back structure, which would be one board wider than the other. One is 30 and the other is 27.7. This we focus. In this way, we mark it in the center. There would be a shelf, and then two more, one above and one below, also in the middle, centered. And I lifted it to be able to mark on the two equal sides, because a board is narrower, and turned it over to mark the inside. And he also marked it with the pen very gently, so that it would not be too noticeable, just to be able to place the shelves that way. Once I have everything marked, I'm going to screw the wider board to the narrower one that way. There I turn it over, I place the other end. I press it down so that it stays even with respect to the table, and I turn it over. I place a shelf just to hold me up. And I am going to screw it with 52 millimeter long screws, 4 millimeters thick, for which I use a 3 millimeter bit. I tighten it with a press so that I straighten the long board. So, the shelves look good on me. Once it's done, I flip it over and start screwing on the shelves. Here I am also going to place the press to support me and that I approached squarely, because it always tends to stretch to one side. Since the board of the shelf is cut completely square, then the square is maintained by the board. There I already placed 2 screws from the back. There I am going to place the other shelf that can also be placed in the same direction as the grain if you consider, and we are going to place 2 screws on it. I am going to invert the direction of the grain on this shelf. These shelves have the same length and width, 27.7 centimeters. I inverted the vanes so that the structure remains firmer. There I turn it, and I place the last shelf, helping me with the press, and I screw it. And there we began to place the boards that would be the front ones, which are the ones that would be visible. The 3mm guide bit has the milling machine at the tip, which is milling according to the depth that I make the drilling machine enter. I make the milling machine enter almost 8 millimeters, so I am going to take the opportunity to place the plugs of 8 millimeters. To be able to place the plugs that would cover the heads of the screws. There I show you the 8mm diameter dowels that already have the tip made so that it can be nailed into the wood, and that way it is adjusted and it is not noticeable. I clean the vinyl glue and cut the excess. Then, I turn it and we are going to apply this other board that would be the reverse curve. We are going to screw it in the same way. I will leave the measurements at the end of the video. And we can pass an orbital sander or one like the one I'm using, which would be a belt sander. Can also be sanded by hand. Finally, we finished it with 180 sandpapers. In this case, it would be a sponge sandpaper that I am using to remove the edges a little. There we are. We place the top cover, the part that would go against the wall, and we would have an edge on the front part. These boards measure 36 centimeters by 36 centimeters, with the thickness of the entire piece of furniture being 2.3 centimeters. And finally, we apply what would be the bottom part, where we do the same work. Turned it because I want you to see it well. We pass a fine sandpaper, a 180 sponge sandpaper, to remove the edges, and there it is ready. Well friends, the corner shelf is ready, modern, beautiful, and very easy to do. If you liked it, like it, and share it with your friends. Any questions you have, comment and I will be answering them. See you in the next video. Bye bye.